So who were the first followers of Jesus exactly? Who were the first people to join Jesus' faction and movement? Well, the Gospels give different answers to this question. According to the Synoptic Gospels called Mark, Matthew, and Luke, the first followers of Jesus were Galilean fishing brothers, belonging to what we might call the Jonah-Zebedee fishing syndicate. The first disciple is Simon Peter, the second is Andrew, his brother, the third is James, and the fourth is John, his brother. But the Gospel from outer space called John disagrees. According to that Gospel, the first disciple was Andrew of Bethsaida. The second was Lazarus of Bethany. The third is Simon Peter of Bethsaida. The fourth is Philip of Bethsaida. And the fifth was Nathanael of Cana. Folks, this is an unreconcilable disagreement. Peter cannot be the first disciple and the third. But why is everything okay?
We have many isolated sayings, anecdotes, and events, some of which are undoubtedly historical, some of which are not. But here, folks, is the problem. The Gospels are interpretive and theological accounts, not history books. The fact is, the Jesus of no two Gospels is alike. They simply are not. Jesus is the new Moses to Matthew. That's not even on Luke's radar screen. Historical data is minimal and it's very rarely on the surface. Some of the stories are undoubtedly historical. Others are borrowed, created, embellished, theologized. The problem is to tell which is which. That's the problem. So the bottom line, one cannot simply read the Gospels and expect to uncover an account of the historical Jesus. Now, I don't know about you, but when I grew up, everybody that I knew as a young person just assumed everybody assumed that you read the Gospels and that told you what happened. And part of the reason for that is that since the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment, we have come to be so literalistic in our way of thinking that we tend to only trust what is historical. We tend to say, well, it isn't true if it didn't happen. But many things are true that didn't happen. It really is true that Jesus was a new Moses, even if he never went down to Egypt, as the story says. We are so literalistic in our mentality that we just make the automatic assumption that these guys were writing history books about Jesus. They're not. These books are confessions of faith. They're theology books. And they tell you the meaning of Jesus and why it matters. And what about it matters in your life. And when we try to reduce them to historical books, we're going to create the morass we have looked at this morning.